I turned 90 last winter. There was no party, no cake, no candles to blow, just a quiet room, a chair that knows my shape, and a window that shows me a world that is slowly forgetting my name. That morning, I woke up before the sun. Old people do that. Not because we want to, because sleep slowly lets go of us, the same way life does. I sat there holding a cup of tea that had already gone cold, and for the first time in my life, I did not feel fear of death. I felt something heavier. Regret. Real regret is not loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't punish you all at once. It sits quietly beside you like an old friend who knows all your secrets and refuses to leave. When I was young, I thought regret meant making big mistakes, losing money, choosing the wrong job, marrying the wrong person. But at 90, I learned something painful. Regret is not about what you did wrong. It is about what you never allowed yourself to feel, never allowed yourself to try, never allowed yourself to become. I remember one evening when I was 27, I was standing outside a small house. Yellow walls, broken gate, a mango tree leaning like it was tired of standing. Inside that house was a woman who loved me more than I understood at the time. Her name was Amina. She laughed with her whole face, not just her mouth. Her eyes would disappear when she smiled. She once told me, "Life is short. Don't live it like you have another one waiting." I laughed when she said that, because at 27 you think you are made of endless tomorrows. That night she asked me one question. Will you choose love, or will you choose safety? I told her I needed time. I told her I needed to focus on my career. I told her I would come back when life was more stable. I never went back. At 90, I can still see that gate, still see that mango tree, still see her standing there waiting for a man who thought time was his servant. She married someone else, had children, built a life, and I built success. Money came, respect came, people stood up when I entered rooms, but no one ever waited for me the way she did. And that is a type of regret nobody talks about. The regret of choosing things that look important over things that are actually alive. Let me tell you something younger people don't understand. Time does not steal your chances suddenly. It steals them quietly. One busy year, then another, then another. Then one day you realize certain doors are not locked. They are gone. I had a friend named Kareem. He was poor, always struggling, always working small jobs. But he loved painting. Not for money, not for fame. Just because colors made him feel alive. I used to tell him, you should focus on real work, stable work. He would smile and say, maybe, but I don't want to die without knowing what my hands were made to create. I thought he was foolish. At 52, he died of a heart attack. At his funeral, his daughter showed me a box. Inside were hundreds of paintings. Not famous, not perfect, but full of something I cannot describe. They were alive. In that moment, I realized something that took me 40 more years to fully understand. Success can make people respect you, but only truth can make you respect yourself. At 90, regret feels like watching your own life from outside a window. You see all the moments where you could have spoken but stayed silent. All the times you could have loved but stayed guarded. All the times you could have started but waited for the right time. There is no right time. There is only time, and then there isn't. Sometimes late at night, I talk to my younger self. I don't yell at him. I don't hate him. He was scared. He wanted approval. He wanted security. But I wish he knew one simple truth. Safety can slowly become a prison, a comfortable prison, a respected prison. A prison people will praise you for staying inside. If you are young, you think regret is about failure. No. Real regret is emotional silence, the words you never said, the risks you never took, the love you never allowed yourself to show because you thought you had time to do it later. Later is a very dangerous word. Later is where dreams go to die quietly. There is something else regret feels like. It feels like holding memories that nobody else remembers, places that are gone, voices that are silent forever, versions of yourself that only exist in your mind now. And you sit there and you realize your whole life is now just a story inside you. I am not telling you this to make you sad. I am telling you because nobody told me. Everyone teaches you how to win. Nobody teaches you how losing time feels. And losing time is the only loss you never recover from. If I could sit with my 20-year-old self, I would not tell him to work harder. I would not tell him to chase success. I would tell him one thing: pay attention to what makes your chest feel warm. That is where your real life is hiding. Regret at 90 is not sharp pain. It is slow understanding. Understanding that life was never about being right. It was about being real. And most of us spend our whole lives trying to be correct instead of trying to be honest. There is one memory that still visits me every winter. The last time my father spoke to me before he died, he said, "Son, one day you will learn people don't regret working too little. They regret living too little." I nodded when he said it. I understood the words. But I did not understand the cost. Now I do. And the hardest truth is this: regret does not ask permission to stay with you. It becomes part of how you breathe, how you remember, how you measure your own life. At 90, you finally stop pretending you don't feel it. Let me tell you about another regret, the kind that hides behind good intentions. I had a son. When he was small, he used to wait for me near the door every evening. Some nights I came home late. Some nights I did not come home at all because work was more important. I told myself I was doing it for his future. One night, when he was about 8, I came home very late. He was sleeping on the sofa, holding a drawing. It was a picture of me, him, and his mother. Under it he wrote, "Best day ever." I asked my wife when that was. She said, "That was the day you came home early and took him for ice cream." One day, one normal day, that was his best day ever. And I missed most of his childhood chasing days that nobody even remembers now. He grew up. He moved away. He calls sometimes. He is respectful. He is kind. But there is a distance I built with my own hands. That is another thing regret feels like. Distance you cannot measure with kilometers, only with memories you never made. People think regret comes from bad choices. No. Sometimes it comes from choices that looked responsible, mature, logical, but slowly killed the parts of you that knew how to live. At 90, I do not regret not being richer. I do not regret not being more famous. I regret every moment I was physically present, but emotionally somewhere else. Every dinner where I was thinking about money. Every conversation where I was not really listening. Every time someone loved me, and I treated it like something that would always be there. Nothing always stays. Not people. Not chances. Not youth. Not even regret. One day, even regret becomes quiet because you become too tired to carry it. And maybe that is the final mercy life gives us. If you are listening to me right now, maybe you still think you have endless time. I thought that too. Everyone does. Until one day you realize your future is shorter than your past. And that is when questions become heavier than answers. So if there is something you feel you should say it. If there is someone you feel you should forgive them. If there is something inside you that wants to live, let it live. Because one day you will sit where I sit, in a quiet room, with a chair that knows your shape, and a window showing a world moving without you. And you will not be thinking about your job title, or your bank account, or what strangers thought about you. You will think about moments, faces, chances, words you said, words you swallowed, love you gave, love you were too afraid to give. And if you are lucky, you will have more memories that make you smile than memories that make you feel heavy. That is all a long life really is. A collection of emotional weights you carry at the end. I am 90 now. I am not afraid to leave. I am only afraid of how many people leave this world without ever feeling fully alive. If you can learn anything from my long, quiet, imperfect life, let it be this. Do not wait for life to become perfect before you allow yourself to live it. Life was never going to become perfect. It was only ever going to become limited, and limited things are precious. I did not understand that when everything felt endless. I understand it now when everything feels temporary. If you are young, you are standing in the richest moment of your entire existence right now. Not because of money, not because of status, but because you still have unopened doors in front of you. Please do not spend your whole life being the person everyone expects you to be, and then meet your real self when it is too late to live like them. I am 90, and this is what regret really feels like. It feels quiet, it feels patient, it feels honest, and it feels like the one teacher you cannot ignore once you are old enough to hear it. End.